What does Asmongold have to say about Sod? Let's see here.
Season of Discovery is coming out. There's a recent video, you know, definitely not a really great starter here. Can Season of Discovery actually recover? And everything's on fire.
Here we go.
So, yeah. Uh-oh. I'm so stoked for Sod. I'm excited. I'm not super excited. I'm really not. But
By the way, Kathy, TGA Media said he would be down to do BRD and any other 60 dungeons later tonight after the PvP event. So if I'm still awake, then we can do that.
I think, like, right now, I'm like a 6 or a 7 on the excitement scale. Probably closer to a 6.
8 long months have passed since
What?
the launch of Season of Discovery. Soon enough, Blizzard will finally allow players to reach level 60
What?
and
Wow.
tackle revamped endgame
Oh my
content.
God.
But is it too late? Will it be enough to bring back the millions of players that quit? Can the game
Yeah.
Billions
actually
of players.
For
recover
sure.
from the extreme loss of momentum with the first 3 phases?
It absolutely can. By the way, it 100% can. I think a great example of this is like when Burning Crusade came out and everybody quit Era. Like nobody was playing Classic Era towards the start of Burning Crusade. And like the servers were legitimately actually just dead. And then
I think that's probably not a good example because the Classic Era servers came out like at the exact same time as TBC. And of course, like most people are going to play TBC, and also at that point you had to pay to transfer your character over. I think a much better example would be this is Classic Era timeline. Classic Era lost half of its players when Sod came out. This is the example you want to give. This is Classic Era when Sod came out. This is November of 2023. Boom, Sod launches and half the people quit. This is the example.
people came back over time because the gameplay kept them engaged and they kept playing the game. They can absolutely get people to come back, but it will take time.
I'll say kind of on this note, I really think the future of Sod rests on how well Phase 4 does. If Phase 4 is super fun and people are excited for Phase 5, if Phase 4 leaves people wanting more, I'm having fun every step of the way and I want more, then Sod has a future. Sod is back on the menu. If Phase 4 shits the bed and people are laughing at Phase 4 and Phase 4 gets a bad reputation and it fails the optics check, it's over. Like no one is going to say, yeah, I know that I quit during Phase 4, but I'm going to come back and see how Phase 5 is. No, it's over. I think for a lot of people, Phase 4 is the final chance. It's the final opportunity. It's make or break.
Fortunately, I do believe it's too late. And let me tell you why. This all stems back to the very early decisions made with this season's raid content. On top of having no brand new raids to discover, everyone, and I mean everyone, has mental anguish at the thought of forming 10...
Curious how the Blackrock Mountain will be. I think the Blackrock Mountain event is going to pretty much be a swing and a miss. I'm not that excited for that. And the reason why is, let's break down the event into 2 components. The first component is in Searing Gorge, there are mobs spawning every 2 hours. You kill them, and if you kill them, you get reputation with the Hydraxian Waterlords. And the Thorian Brotherhood also. Okay, so we've seen the new reputation for Thorian Brotherhood and Hydraxian Waterlords. They're like, okay, but really not that great, so maybe a lot of people won't be compelled to do it. Also, it seems like you get the reputation pretty fast. So even if you do want to do it, it seems like it's not that long of a grind, and then you'll never bother with it again. The second component of the BRD event is inside of Blackrock Mountain, you get a bonus 50% honor. Well, in Sod, going into Phase 4, the only reason to get honor is to rank up, and ranking is going to be from rank 7 up to rank 10. Rank 10 is the new cap. It takes 2 weeks to go from 7, maybe 3 if you're a little bit slow, 2 or 3 weeks to go from rank 7 to rank 10, and then you can't rank anymore. And so the entire motivation to go to Blackrock Mountain to get 50% bonus honor, it's like not that compelling because ranking is very fast. It's over before you even really know about it. And then also, for a lot of classes, Alterac Valley reputation gear is really pretty good. And so if you are ranking, you're going to want to spam Alterac Valley all day to get exalted. You want to get exalted. So it's like, okay, I want to rank. How am I going to rank? Spam Alterac Valley or go sit in Blackrock Mountain? I'm going to spam Alterac Valley because I want the reputation because the rep gear is good. So I don't think like either of the two Blackrock Mountain event like purposes are really that compelling. And if they are, they're not compelling for very long. Is that fair? That's kind of my take on that.
And 20-man raids. And can you blame them? Filling a raid with 10 or 20 people is a lot.
I don't think that's the problem. I really don't. I think that the problem is that a lot of people aren't really interested in playing a private server, or not private server, a seasonal server. And this is, I'm speaking for myself, right? But for me, I'm not really interested in playing a seasonal server as much because I feel like all of my progress will be eventually deleted. And that makes me, it gives me like a feeling of like futility whenever I'm playing the game.
That's fair. That's a fair
And I
point.
don't know if that's like the way other people feel about it or not. But if you compare that to like classic era servers are just existing indefinitely, right? Like you're just always going to have that character. So there's more of a reason to continue like playing on a server like that because you can take a break from the era server for 6 months. You can quit the game for an entire year and you can come back and it's going to be in the exact same place.
Maybe if Blizzard ever wants to take an actual swing at Classic Plus, they need to say, listen, we're making Classic Plus servers, and these are going to be here forever, and we want to work with the community. We want to have a dialogue. Any changes going forward, they need to do it RuneScape style, okay? This is a vanilla server. We're going to be making changes. We're going to be adding content, and every single change or every single piece of content, we're going to run it by you guys. We're going to get the ideas from you guys. We're going to condense them down, draft up a little blueprint, run it by you guys. You guys vote on it, and then we'll add it to the server, and the servers are going to be here forever. OSRS style. It's true.
And that, I think, is a huge beneficial
Probably not going to happen.
of why people care about Era and why they don't care as much about Season of Discovery.
Yep.
Yeah, I quit because Undead Rogue gankers. Well, that's just one thing, right? But it's nice to try out. It's lame to grind out. Yeah, exactly. And like MMOs, people don't like. I think that, again, I hate how people are trying to turn every game into Fortnite, where like there's seasons. It's like, stop it. Like that. This isn't the way every game has to function. Like not every game needs a season to it. Like there's not a reset. Like, oh, you need a new season, a new version of it. Oh.
Let me give you my very doomer black pill take on why Blizzard has decided to do seasons, different versions of Classic WoW, Season of Mastery, Season of Discovery. We talked about this a little bit earlier today. I think they are taking a seasonal approach to making changes to Classic WoW is because they are not confident in the changes they're making. So if the changes they make are successful and people love it and player participation is very high, then they just run with it. And the season like maybe never even has to end. But if it bombs, if people don't like it, Season of Mastery, maybe Season of Sod now, if people don't like it, then they have the excuse, hey, it's only seasonal. It was going to have an end date anyway. We're going to wrap it up. All right, season's over. So it's like a little bit of it's like preemptive copium, right? They can say, hey, it's just a season. It wasn't meant to be permanent. But you can bet your ass, right? If there were millions of people playing Season of Mastery, they would have kept it going. They would have kept doing new things. But no one played, so they stopped. It's pretty simple in my mind.
Oh, there's a new battle pass. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, some games are not, they don't fit into that. FOMO and diving is toxic as fuck. It's just too much, man. So when I see an MMO that this is why I quit Lost Ark. And it's also why I stopped playing retail. I felt like I was always treading water. Like, I could never really get ahead. I could never really get behind. I'm just stuck there, kind of. It's like you're driving in traffic at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You're not stopped. And you're also not going 80 miles an hour either. You're just going slowly, and everybody is moving at a reasonable pace, and you have to stop at red lights, and there's this, Also, as you are going slowly in traffic, your destination
maintains its distance. Like, you never actually get closer to the destination. So you're frustratingly going slowly, and you never actually get closer to where you want to go.
Pedestrian crossing, like, it's just you're in a hamster wheel, exactly. And so, like, I think that's the reason why Season of Discovery and Season of Mastery before that, that's why Season of Discovery was infinitely more popular, by the way. Yeah. And there are also a lot of other, like, meta level problems that Season of Discovery has. But fundamentally, the main issue is that I think that getting people to play on a seasonal server is a very, like, it's like antithetical to an MMO. It's like the opposite. SOD was at the beginning was lit? Well, yeah, because there was, like, almost nothing you had to do.
I'll say this again. From the Blizzard point of view, Blizzard actually does not want SOD to be a flash in the pan season. You bet your ass Blizzard wants people to enjoy SOD and not stop playing, and if people enjoy it and don't stop playing, then they'll just keep on making content for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, right? I think that's what they want to do, but the term season, that word season, is thrown in as a bit of preemptive defensive copium. If things go bad, they've got a way out. So they don't have to be permanently committed to a server that only 100 people are playing. Do you guys think that's true? I think it's a little safety net. It's like a little, it's like a little ripcord. We can say, hey, it was a season. Okay, it was not going to be permanent. But I'm sure they want it to be.
It's like organizing a birthday party or a wedding or something. Have you ever tried talking on Discord with more than 7 people in a call? It's borderline impossible. And due to the viability of niche specs, the competition for loot is fiercely unsettling. No one wants a melee hunter taking their best weapons.
Yep.
The loss of GDKP.
We need a legit GDKP pull going into Phase 4. Classic Era is thriving partly because of GDKP. SOD will die without it. I think that getting rid of GDKP was always a bad decision. And I got a lot of shit for it. I did. Everybody was shitting on me for it. I can't believe that people simp so hard for Blizzard that they're willing to throw away Emergent gameplay because Blizzard refuses to uphold their own rules. That's crazy to me.
Listen, it's not simping for Blizzard. It is acknowledging that Blizzard, out of incompetence or lack of effort, is not going to shut down gold selling, gold buying, botting. It's a very realist take. Given Blizzard, for whatever reason, incompetence, lack of care, they're not going to shut these problems down. Okay, then we need to get rid of GDKP because these other problems that are exacerbating the GDKP issue are not being solved. It's not simping for Blizzard. It's like actually taking a realistic approach regarding Blizzard's incompetence. It's admitting, okay, Blizzard is so stupid or lazy, they are so incapable of shutting down botting that we can't have GDKP. It just is not working.
Absolutely fucking crazy.
Has been felt throughout the corners of the classic community, and many of us still mourn losing the best loot system ever created. However, the true killing blow was not making the raids 5-man. They should revamp all the raids to be 5-man and rename
maybe have them be soloable.
AQ
Single player
to AQ5. That would
great
bring
idea.
everyone back.
Season of Discovery is terrible. Oh my god, I didn't realize so many people were so negative about it. So
listen, maybe I'm existing in an echo chamber. I don't know. I don't see anyone hyped for SOD. Almost no. I'm in the Discord servers, I'm browsing this, I'm looking at that, I talk to you guys, I'm watching other streamers. I don't see SOD Phase 4 hype. I see people saying, okay, yeah, I'll give it a chance. Yeah, I'll see what's up. I'll try it out. That's what I see. Okay, I'll try it out. I guess, whatever. But I don't see anyone that is sitting here ecstatic on the edge of their seat. I can't wait. I don't see that take at all.
So here's 0-man raid. Yeah, we had those in WoD. There were just missions. You just have your guys go out on a mission. They bring you back epic gear. So the reason why I don't invest a lot into Season of Discovery is because generally the raids are too hard to pug easily, and they're annoying. Like
This, maybe he has like some elitists get angry at him. I think that's true. I think that is true. I think the classic WoW player base is not looking for mechanically challenging raids. I think the investment you need to make to be successful in SOD raids, it's too much. I think the raids, and by the way, it's not that the raids are too difficult to complete. It's that the raids are too difficult to care about completing. Like he uses the word annoying. That's the right word. The raids are, it's not like, oh man, I suck too much. I just can't do this raid. I'm just not good enough. It's not that. It's just, this is too annoying for me to give a fuck about. Okay? Classic players are looking for a very chill, relaxing, hang out with the boys type of situation. And I think that SOD has not catered to that.
Like for me, if I'm playing like classic era, for example, everybody knows how to do Molten Core. People know how to do the raids. Like if you go into a raid in Molten Core, the success chance of that raid is like 95%. Whereas in Classic, or in SOD, whenever I would play it, it would be very low. Like, you would regularly have wipes. You would regularly have time wasted. And when I have that happen, I feel like I'm wasting my time with people that are stupid. And Classic also, like, Classic is very punishing whenever you make a mistake. It's punishing when you do something wrong. Acranius, yeah. I don't want to sit through Acranius. Oh, somebody doesn't go in the cloud again? Okay, well, if you didn't go in the cloud and, okay, you died, I quit. I'm done. I don't want to play. Like, I don't want to waste my time with that kind of stuff. So, this is actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. This is a really great idea.
What's he going to do?
Reasons why SOD is not great.
Oh.
I think that's, should I say it like that? Should I say like why SOD is not great? I don't know if that's the best way to say it, because I don't want to say it's bad. I really don't, and I don't think that it's bad. However, I do still have some opinions about it regardless, right? So I'll look and I'll talk about it a little bit, right? Okay, so number one, interdependency. Is that even a word? Yeah, it actually is. Interdependency of classes is all but removed. So what I mean by this is that back in Classic WoW, a warrior playing at 100% and a paladin playing at 100% together would be playing at 300 or 400%, right? You had like a force multiplier for how much powerful you were. And you couldn't heal as a warrior. So you needed that fucking paladin. You needed to have those other people to play with. And SOD adding in different abilities and different spells remove that interdependencies, because those spells were made to counter the problems that the classes had. Like,
I do think there is a very tasteful way that one could rebalance Vanilla WoW. I really think so. Vanilla WoW could be rebalanced in a very tasteful way that holds true to the sort of like Vanilla WoW ideal, whatever you want to call it. That being said, I think that SOD has gone way beyond the pale. There have been way too many changes. Classes have been rebalanced and rebuilt to way too far of a degree. It doesn't feel like you're playing vanilla anymore when you're playing your class a lot of the time.
for example, mages. Like, mages couldn't heal. Warriors couldn't heal. You give them Victory Rush, you give them the healing abilities, well, now they fucking can. So now that reason to have interdependency with other players is removed. So you don't see that same type of need to do that. Mages are OP as fucking Classic? Yeah, sure. SOD is literally just retail with a Classic mask on? Right, yes, that's true. Too many...
I think SOD is more like Kata. In fact, after playing a little bit of Kata has come out now. This is what I think has happened. I think you have the Classic dev team. They are getting Kata ready for launch. They're spending a lot of dev time on Kata. They're working through the Kata beta and the Kata PTR, doing class changing, doing class fixing. And I actually think that the Classic dev team working on Kata, I think it spilled into SOD. If you look at a bunch of the abilities, boss design mechanics, I think, especially raid mechanics, I think that Kata spilled into SOD by nature of the Classic dev team working on both of them at the same time. Like, you can feel the Cataclysm presence in SOD. And I think that's not a good thing, by the way.
Weird.
But you can definitely
specs.
notice it if you play both.
Mage, healer, tank, rogue. This is stupid. It's fucking stupid.
How can you compare shit Kata to Sod? Kata was shit back then, and still one of the worst expansions. There are more people playing Kata right now than Sod. I'm not exactly happy with either, but let's actually be honest here for a second. More people play Kata right now than Sod.
It's dumb. Yeah, why? Because it's stupid. Mages aren't healers. Priests are healers. Rogues aren't tanks. That's not the way it works. One thing that people might really downplay is how much things making sense matters.
True.
In vanilla WoW, everything in the game made sense.
Like this is a good point. Some of these changes, mage healer, rogue tank, paladin DPS, these things are just insane. It's just too far out.
Mage healers and tank rogues don't make intuitive sense in the same way. And I know that it's stupid, but I think that it's not. Rogue healers and tank mage is the meta. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So there's that. And let's see. Besides that, let's see. Why Sod isn't great? Oh. Removed GDKP.
GDKPs.
So
I want to hear what he says.
GDKP is a big reason why people continuously play the game. Basically, after you get fully geared, now what? What do? Well, back in the day, you would get fully geared, and then you would do GDKP. Because now you can start making gold with your character. And you can start actually... your character can have a function of doing the raid that provides a reward to you that exists beyond the initial raid itself. That's a 1% issue?
Oh, whoever said that in his chat, that's a great point. How many people are actually raiding on like top geared GDKP? How many people are boosting GDKPs? Very few. Very few. So to act like that's a natural progressive pipeline that everyone sort of ends up doing when they're max level and when they're max geared, that's a great point. Almost no one actually does that. Very few people do that. He got him.
I don't think it's a 1% issue, but you're right that it's a high-end issue. But I would expect that, yeah, it's more than 1%. Yes, it definitely is. There's a lot of people, but if you look at, and also GDKP is more fair. That's another very big factor, right? Is that a lot of people, whenever they raid and they lose a role to somebody who is garbage, this person now doesn't want to play the game anymore.
Here's my deal with GDKPs. I'm going to put this very plainly. In a fantastical Fantasyland universe where gold buying doesn't exist, gold selling does not exist, and botting does not exist, I think GDKP is totally fine. It's all good. Because you know for a fact in this Fantasyland universe that every single bit of gold that is being exchanged in the GDKP has been farmed naturally and legitimately by the players. That's all good. We don't live in that universe. As much as I wish we did, as much as we can say, oh, Blizzard, oh, you suck. Blizzard, you should ban bots. You should ban gold buyers. They don't. They don't. And this is not me simping for Blizzard. This is me realistically acknowledging Blizzard regarding these topics, these issues. Blizzard is incompetent. They're either lazy or incompetent or they don't care. Okay? Whatever it is, they're not adequately stopping the issues. As such, we can't have GDKPs. They are such a huge negative and detriment to the game, given Blizzard will not solve the issues. And then the response I hear is, oh, well, yeah, but they should solve the issues. As if that's a counter argument. I agree with you. They should. But they don't. And so GDKPs are really, really detrimental given that circumstance. They won't and they don't, and we've got 20 years of track record. They won't and they don't.
It's not really, like, rolling for gear isn't really fair, whereas GDKP is fair. It's like it's unfairly balanced among everybody, right? There is no actual fairness. It's just whoever gets more gold wins.
I will say real fast, I've been a little bit negative on SOD. I've noticed in SOD over the last like 3 or 4 months, I think botting is actually not that bad. I think Blizzard has done something, and I'm going to ask you guys right now. Does it feel like Blizzard has a better grasp on botting? It feels way better bot-wise. I don't know what they did, but I feel like they have taken a big chunk out of botting. They've got to have some new detection. I don't know.
Is the item. There's never going to be a circumstance where a person who puts less gold in doesn't get the, or more gold in doesn't get the item, right? So what I'm saying with GDKP is that it is a completely fair system in the rules that it creates. You see what I'm saying? Strongly disagree? That's fine. So pay to win is fair? Well, pay to win isn't a problem, right? So explain this to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now you think that Blizzard should make rules in the game and should stop players from playing with each other in a certain way because Blizzard doesn't want to ban gold buyers?
Yes. Yeah, yes. If Blizzard is not going to ban or can't adequately ban bots, gold buyers, then yes, we should not have GDKP. Yes, and I really wish, I'm with you, I wish they would. I wish they would ban gold buyers and everything. I wish they could adequately tackle that problem, but if they can't or won't, it's better to not have GDKPs. Absolutely, yes.
That's insane to me. You're saying, I want
Like, we need to live in reality, right? We need to adjust to the circumstances that we are given. And we might complain about the circumstances and wish the circumstances were different, but regardless, we are living in reality. We have a lot of gold buyers, a lot of gold sellers, a lot of bots, whatever. As such, it's better to not have GDKP. Yep.
Blizzard to make the game worse and give us more rules because they don't want to adhere to their own terms of service. That's crazy. Rolling is fair? It's not, though, because bad players can roll on gear that they don't deserve. And it doesn't reward people that are good at the game for playing the game. So why would somebody continuously play the game? There's no reason to. And also, once you get the gear that you want out of the raid, what incentive do you have to do the raid again? GDKP provides that incentive. So all of the people...
I'll tell you the reason why I raid. So he asks, I'll just give my personal opinion. Maybe it's not representative of most people, but this is mine. I like to parse. The only reason I care about gear is because I like to parse. It's important to me. It's something that I have fun doing. I actually don't even really like raiding, to be honest. The only avenue of raiding that I like is parsing. If there was no Warcraft logs, I actually wouldn't raid. I would not give one shit about raiding if I could not parse. So for me, I don't... I'll sort of like segue here a little bit. I've never had fun boosting GDKPs. I've done it like maybe once or twice. I don't want to boost a GDKP, have my parses suck because I'm carrying 10 morons. Even if I am getting paid gold. Like if I'm in a raid, I want to try to pump. I want to pump. So I think that everyone has their own motivations.
People who finish the gearing process or plateau at the gearing process, they now have no end game beyond that. There's no prestige ranking. There's no paragon levels. There's nothing for them to do other than just quit. Deserve? Yeah, no, good players deserve loot, bad players don't. That's the way it works. And if you reward bad players, you get a raid full of bad players. If you reward good players, you get a raid full of good players.
Hold up. Hold up. Now he's saying good players deserve loot, bad players don't, and if you reward bad players, you get a bunch of bad players with loot. That's exactly what a GDKP does. A GDKP literally rewards bad players. Because all you have to do is get a hold of some gold. Maybe you farm it, maybe you don't, maybe you buy it. But what happens is bad players get gear. And so it's almost like he's arguing against himself. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying here.
That's the way it works, man. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay, absolutely. Yep.
Reward losers, you get losers. It's pretty fucking simple. Bad players can still buy gear. Yes, GDKP is fair. Exactly. It's very fair. What's preventing a bad player from making gold and buying gear? I don't know.
There you have it. That's a good question. What's preventing a bad player from farming gold and buying gear? I don't know. True. True. That's true.
Now you're making the ability to make gold the qualifier for getting loot, which is outside the skill involved in the raid. You're right, but it's something that everybody agrees to ahead of time, and I think that whenever it happens and somebody outbids you, everybody gets a reward. Also, having GDKP does not remove other role raids. Like, there's no rule that says you can only do GDKP or you can only do roles. Like, you can make, if you don't like GDKP, you can just make a raid that's not GDKP. You see how that works?
Can I tell you guys a really funny story? And this is just a funny story. It's a personal anecdote. This is not arguing against what he just said. This is at the end of TBC. I was trying to farm Atiesh on my Warlock before Naxxramas 40-man got removed going into Wrath. And so every Saturday I would host a Naxxramas like soft res run. It was not a GDKP. It was a soft res run. And I had reserved, I was making the raid every week, and I reserved the Atiesh splinters for myself. And because I was reserving them, I would pay, I think it was 400 gold per splinter that I would distribute out to the raid because I was taking the splinters. So I was actually like paying the raiders. And then as far as they were concerned, they were soft resing whatever other gear they wanted. I'm not kidding. I got doxxed and got death threats from other Naxxramas 40-man GDKP organizers that were trying to run Naxxramas 40-man GDKPs at the same time I was trying to do it. I had Naxxramas 40-man GDKP organizers saying, hey, listen, you need to stop operating your GDKP at the time that we're operating. And it was just like a Sunday, like Saturday or Sunday afternoon, right? These people were fucking sending me death threats because I was, as far as they were concerned, poaching players from their raid, from their GDKP to my soft res run. So there are some crazy fucking people in this game. It's true. They're trying to run like a mafia. Yeah.
Right? Fuck GDKP. Okay, that's fine. Then don't do it. Nobody's saying that you have to do it, but taking it away from people and saying that they can't do it is fucking stupid. And it was fucking, I got so much shit for this. And I'm so glad to see people finally waking up and seeing how ridiculous it was to ban GDKP.
I think most people playing SOD are still happy that GDKP's gone. I think so. I don't think that mass wake up has happened. At least not that I've seen. Like I said, I wish we could have GDKPs. I love GDKPs, but we just can't have them in our reality where Blizzard does not adequately ban gold buyers and gold sellers and botters. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And like having it's by the way, okay, we all know Blizzard is never going to adequately tackle the problem. And so saying, you know, we should have GDKPs, we have GDKPs now, and then like just letting GDKPs do the damage to the game that they have done for a long time, whilst also sitting here complaining, oh, well, Blizzard should do something. They're not going to do, like, we all know they're not going to do something. We know they're not. It doesn't matter how many times we post on the forums or complain on our YouTube videos that they should do something. They should do something. They don't. They don't. Either they can't or they won't or they whatever. But this, like, the sooner we accept that they won't or they can't, the better we can try to make the game. In this case, it's the GDKPs have to, you can't have them, given Blizzard is not going to do something adequate.
GDKP. So fucking stupid.
What damage to the game? Era's been thriving for 5 years. If I log into Classic Era right now, and I want to buy a Flask of Supreme Power, I need to pay 900 gold. It's hilarious you would use Classic Era as the example. If I buy a flask, it costs the amount of gold of a fucking epic mount. Are you kidding me? That's like the most incompetent example you could have possibly used.
Saying it since day one. Yep. Would GKP be as popular without gold buying? Yes. Of course it would be popular. GDKP is one of the near bottom issues with SOD. Well, here's the issue, right? Is that players, like, so basically you play through SOD and players cycle out of the game because there's no content. If GDKP exists, it creates that cycle and it keeps them inside of the game, which keeps raids going, right? It builds an ecosystem into the game. But we're talking too much about GDKP. It's not all about GDKP, okay? This is just one part of it, right?
I will say one final note on GDKPs. Going into phase 4, here, can I show you guys this? You guys have all seen this. This is the SOD chart. I am surprised Blizzard is not bringing GDKPs back for SOD phase 4. Given how few people are playing, I'm shocked we don't have a blue post from Blizzard saying, hey guys, Blizzard here. Over the last 4 months, we have been pioneering and advancing our bot detection software and gold buying and gold selling detection software. And as such, we know we removed GDKPs 5 months ago. We feel very, very confident in our ability to detect and stop illicit behavior. So now we're going to bring back GDKPs and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to conduct another experiment in the opposite direction. We're going to bring it back because that would... Bringing back GDKPs most certainly would have more people playing the game. There's no doubt about that. More people would play. This chart would go up if they brought GDKPs back. Absolutely. That's a fact. And so I'm kind of surprised that they're not. This is something I said like 3 months ago. I was betting. I said publicly, I bet they're going to bring back GDKPs in phase 4, but they haven't. I'm kind of surprised. I thought they would, I have to say.
And no, it does not. It absolutely does. It's not even a question. That's why there's people that have 10 alts to do GDKPs, and then you get rid of them, then they're not playing the game anymore. All of those people are making raids. Now they're not, then that's gone.
Every single person operating 10 alts to boost GDKPs, they are selling gold. Let's not lie to ourselves here. If you're operating 10 alts to boost GDKPs, you are using GDKPs as a way to farm gold, and then you're selling it. No? Yes.
And so anyway...
Yes.
And the phases were too long.
Yes.
Also, raids were too hard. So this is another contentious thing that a lot of people said that I was bad for, and it turned out that I was right about everything completely, and Blizzard agreed with me. And so, how many times did how much health does Acranius have right now in Season of Discovery? How much health does he have? He has 1.4 million. Okay. So originally he had over 4 million. So that is a reduction of like 60 to 70% of his health. So yes, 1.5. Yeah, exactly. At least in statue rights. And so basically they release these raids that are incredibly punishing and really, really hard. And they're listening to people that are playing the game, talking on Reddit, that have played the game for 15 years. Well, whenever you add in really hard raids, the reason why Classic worked was because it was easy. Classic WoW wouldn't work if it was really hard, because the amount of time and preparation that's needed in order to have like a good run is so high, and it would be so disproportionate to where the reward was. So Classic WoW works well. Nax is hard. Yeah, but not really though, right? Because most bosses do one mechanic and there's only 3 people that need to have...
Nax also had by far the lowest player participation of any raid. Like that's just undeniable, right? So you know what? Maybe Nax was too hard. This is a true take, what he's saying, and we said this earlier. But in order to acknowledge this take, you need to shed your gamer ego. Your Classic WoW, World of Warcraft ego, you need to shed it. You need to get rid of it, okay? People don't play Classic WoW because they want hard PvE content. That's not why people play it. People like Classic WoW raiding because it's chill and relaxing. And then beyond that, if you want hard or more challenging content, you can parse or you can speedrun. Most people don't care about that. They just want to get in a raid with the boys, have a little bit of guild drama, it's funny, and get some loot, and just kind of chill. And yeah, something that SOM did wrong, and SOD has done wrong, the content is too hard. It's not too hard to complete, it's too hard to be chill. It's not chill content.
Have a pulse in the whole raid.
It's true.
It's harder than the other content, but it's also not very mechanically challenging. So what ends up happening is that you have these really hardcore players that are advocating, oh, we like...
Streamer rating isn't average rating. Oh boy, here we go. I love the streamer take. Combining people with absolute previous full chances of privileged streamers have a skewed rating perspective IMO. So I think probably what you're doing is actually agreeing with what I'm saying, is that these raids are too challenging to be chill for most people. As a reminder, all through in fact, almost every phase of every version of WoW, I have pugged raids. You guys might know I like to pug raids. I like to do it. Not viewer raids, not viewer pugs. pugs out of looking for group or pugs out of trade chat. In every phase of SOD, in Wrath, I've done this. Okay, and I have a very good like average player trade chat pug take, but also like I play different characters in different ways. I've got my main character, I'm in a raid group, we're pumping, we're parsing, and I've got my pug low-key character where it's a shit show, and you guys have seen me do that for years now. So I reject the notion. I am entirely dialed in. In fact, I'm the most dialed in. I'm more dialed in than anyone in the entire world. I'm dialed in, okay? Because I've seen it all. I've got both sides.
Like harder raids.
I'm the most dialed.
Harder raids. Then you look at them, and these are people that have been playing the game for like 10 or 15 years. You shouldn't listen to them. That's not the right person to listen to. So they made the raids too hard. Like the second to last boss with Black Fathom Deeps was too hard. I got shit for saying it. Blizzard nerfed it because I was right. Nomergon was too hard. I got shit for saying it. Blizzard nerfed it because I was right. Sunken Temple was too hard. I got a lot of shit for saying it. People were talking, even making like tweets and threads about me, about how stupid I am for saying this. Blizzard nerfed it by more than 50% because that's how right I was. Classic WoW is made for brain-dead dads that don't have enough time to play video games. It's not made for good players. If you're a good player, play retail. Go do Mythic Raiding. Go play Valorant. Go play League of Legends. Stop turning a 20-year-old MMO that's been solved 18,000 different ways into your esport. You're killing it. And Blizzard kills it by adhering and trying to cater to them. So yes, raids are too hard.
Oh.
Retail pullouts? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Raids were way too hard.
I'm going to argue, listen, on behalf of the Dad Gamer International Coalition, I'm going to argue back on this. It's not that dad gamers are too stupid or not skilled enough to complete content. They just don't give a fuck to complete it. They're an adult. They've got big boy real life responsibilities. They can do it. They've done it before. They just don't give a fuck. They don't need. They're 35 with 3 kids and a hot wife with big tits. They don't care about World of Warcraft ego. It doesn't matter. They've had the dad gamer ego death. Truly, they are free from the rat race of this game. They're free.
And a lot of classic players can't keep up with that. They're bad. They're fucking garbage. They're trash. They're so bad at the game. Like if you watch people raid in classic WoW in era, bro, these people like
Uh-oh.
I swear to God, you could train a parrot to play a game better than that. You could. There are 100% parrots that are smarter than most people in a Molten Core raid. Absolutely, and not even the smart parrots, right? I'm talking about like just a run-of-the-mill parrot, not like the cream of the crop, just like an average parrot. I think tanking was probably the most difficult aspect of classic WoW. Yeah, I know. The hardest part about tanking is staying awake.
Ooh. I'm not talking SOD, we're talking regular vanilla WoW. What's the hardest role? Tanking, healing, DPSing? Probably healing. Probably healing is the most challenging in vanilla WoW. I think so.
So, SOD, dogshit players confirmed? Yes, exactly. So how is it opinion relevant of a casual reaction Andy streamer than a dad that plays WoW and has since 2006? Because the casual, the person who's played, and also like I am a reaction Andy, but you can play WoW for the next 10 years and you will still not have played as much WoW as I have, and I will probably still know more about the game than you do. 10 years from now, if I never played another day in my life, okay? So yes, keep that in mind. Talk shit all you want, try to invalidate my fucking opinion, just like you did with Sunken Temple, and then the raids got nerfed massively because I was right all along, because I understand the game better than almost fucking anybody.
Okay, am I misremembering? I feel like almost everybody thought Sunken Temple needed to be nerfed, right? Maybe I'm out of touch. We definitely were talking about that here. Wasn't like everyone saying that this shit has got to be nerfed, right? That's how I remember it. Okay.
Because I played it for 15 fucking years, for 35,000 fucking hours. I know how the game works. I know how people think. I spend all the time doing it. That's why I was so popular. That's why my videos were so good. That's why my streams are so good about the game. It's because I know it better than fucking anybody. And so anyway, I have people saying that I'm wrong. Blizzard wasn't. Blizzard wasn't. Blizzard agreed. You sure it's 36,000? It might be 37 by now, actually. Yes. Very humble. I am being humble. It's just true. Your opinion objectively is less valid than people that are still playing the game and have played for 15 years as well? No, it's not, because the people playing the game is not the only thing. I made achievement guides for every achievement. I was in the top 10 for achievements in the entire world. Like, I raided at cutting edge level for the better part of 10 years. I was a raid leader. I had leveled every character to max. I did all of the challenge modes for every expansion. I did the mage tower for everything. Like, every difficult content in the game, I did it. I did it all the time. Here's the truth, right?
I have 2 kids, and my wife has big tits. And I don't give a fuck about anything in this game. I'm winning in real life.
Most people that play the game don't understand it. That's the reality. They don't understand what the game actually needs because they don't really get it. Did you, or were you carried? I did. I was one of the best players. Absolutely. It's verifiable. Go look at my logs.
Oh.
There's a reason why everybody watched my videos. It's because I was the best. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's not even a question. It's a verifiable fact. So, anyway, needs a full reset? Yeah. Best WoW player in the world? Not best player, right? But I was very good. And, anyway, so the raids were too hard, and they were catering to people that were no-lifers. The average people that play Classic WoW are brain-dead dads that don't have time to raid, and if you make them wipe and die over and over in a raid, here's another thing that's really valuable that people might not be thinking about. When you know how long a raid is going to take, it's a lot easier to do that raid. So, for example, if you do Molten Core, you know that raid's going to take an hour. If you do BWL, you know that raid is going to take an hour. But if you're doing Sunken Temple, you don't know whether that raid's going to take 40 minutes or 3 hours. So for people that have a lot of time, that don't have a lot of time, it's much harder to commit to a raid that has an uncertain outcome and how much time it's going to take. Also, here's another reason. Are they still using raid IDs? Of course. This is the stupidest decision that I think Blizzard has made in Season of Discovery. Of all of the decisions, this is the dumbest one. It is completely unnecessary. It adds nothing to the game.
I do think individual boss IDs are just like objectively superior to raid IDs. True? I think that's where he's going to go here with this point. Individual boss loot IDs as opposed to raid IDs. I think it's just better always.
And all it does is hurt players playing with each other.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't understand how raid IDs work. Raid IDs mean that when you join a raid, instead of being saved just to the bosses that you've killed, you are instead saved to that specific instance of the raid. So if you do a raid with some people...
When did they change this in retail? I want to say this was MOP. At some point they transitioned over to individual boss ID, but I forget. I think it's MOP.
People, and it doesn't go very well. You don't have the option to join another raid later on in the week and just go play with them instead. You have to finish your raid specifically. Whereas in retail WoW right now, they have a better solution for this. Every single boss you have an ID for, and you can receive loot from that boss every single week, but you can kill that boss multiple times. That would not for Mythic? Yeah, I know, and Mythic is stupid. They're stupid for not having it like that in Mythic. Yeah, not in Mythic. I know, and they're stupid for that. Yeah, they should make it in Mythic too. That only works because retail is personal loot? No, it doesn't. They had this system before personal loot. It's just simple. It's just not true. But yes, anyway, Lost Ark worked like that? Yeah. And it messes up Mythic raids so much? Yeah. Retail literally is not personal loot anymore. They got rid of personal loot? Yeah. That's just, again.
This sounds like a system that discourages player interaction. Well, there are pros and cons to raid lockouts and boss loot lockouts, okay? Let's talk about cons of individual boss loot lockouts first. If I'm in a pug raid, for instance, and the pug raid is not going very well, and we've killed half the bosses, I feel much more flippant. I can just leave the raid and hope I get into another better raid later in the day, and I can finish it with hopefully better people, right? If you are locked, if I'm in a 40-man raid and I'm locked to the same raid ID as the other 40 people, or other 39 people in the raid, I've got a vested interest in putting my differences aside, trying to rally the boys. All right, guys, come on, we can do this. I'm more committed to that raid, right? Everyone, all 40 people are more committed to that ID. So players are less flippant. Now, there are just some situations where there's nothing you can do. The raid implodes. It's screwed. It's all fucked. And you're like, man, like now I don't get to finish the raid for the week. Well, in a raid ID lockout sort of system like we have now, it's, yeah, you might not finish it unless you want to put together an entirely new raid and maybe someone else is going to try to steal the lockout from you. Like, that's entirely possible. If you're locked out to individual bosses, it's much easier to salvage the week. There are pros and cons. There are pros and cons.
And these are the people that are telling me that I don't have the right to an opinion, right? So raid IDs. Raid IDs are just a superior system. They're better in every single way, and Blizzard not having them is just causing the game to be worse. So that's number one. The next thing, focus is not on leveling, but instead in-game. The main reason why Classic WoW was very popular is because people never got to 60. And because people never got to 60, they never got to experience the issues that the game had at 60. And also because the time spent in order to like play the game was very high, you would always have something that you could do. You could play WoW for 6 months and you could never hit level 60. But you could have a great time because you were just enjoying and playing through the game on your own pace. That is no longer true in Season of Discovery because Blizzard has introduced so many other ways to level faster. And they've introduced daily rewards, they've introduced other things like this that hurt what actually WoW was supposed to be and what made Classic WoW so good. Leveling is the best casual content because it is totally guided. If you're level 21...
This is something that I agree with. I think the vanilla WoW leveling content, in my opinion, is the best content this game has ever had. Better than any raid, better than any dungeon, better than any PvP battleground. Leveling in vanilla is goated content. And it is astounding to me that in Season of Discovery, they haven't really done anything to make it better. In fact, all they've done is make it shorter, which is not necessarily better, right? Rather than make it more fun and more immersive and more things to do while leveling, they've just, like, sped it up, is pretty much what has happened. Okay? Or, in the case of Phase 3, the phase we're in right now in SOD, added incursions, which just completely... I mean, we don't need to talk about incursions all day, but it's just terrible, abhorrent. It makes me feel like... We were actually having a conversation about this earlier today. I feel like there are some changes that the Classic dev team has made in SOD so far in the last 8 months. It makes me think these guys, these devs, really have no idea why people like this game. It makes me think these Classic WoW developers, they haven't got the faintest clue why all of us like vanilla. Because if they did, they would not have made a lot of the changes that they have made, right?
You have to get to 22. If you're 56, you've got to get to 57. You know exactly what to do. You don't need a battle pass telling you what to do. You don't need a fucking, reminder, Khadgar alert. Oh, you've got to go do the dungeon. You don't need that. Because you know what? You know what you need to do. The max level's 60 and you're 33. Well, I know what I got to do. I got to get 34. It's very simple. So you can very, very quickly figure out what to do and how to progress your character. The fact that so many people hit max level in Classic, in SOD, the goal should not be to have people hit max level. It should be for people to play the game and have a good experience.
I want to throw this reminder up here real fast. Like maybe people don't appreciate this. This is a big deal. Okay. Servers. This is where I find it. Okay. This week right here. This is like the first week of COVID lockdowns. There are 489,000 characters registering on Warcraft logs. This is Blackwing layer phase of Classic Vanilla. This directly means 480,000 characters within 5 months of Classic Vanilla launch have leveled up from 1 to 60. Okay? This is just about 500,000. Each of these characters, every number here, this is like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days / played investment. People that sat there in front of the computer and leveled their character. This is before boosting. This is before Maraudon boosting. This is before... These people did not get boosted. You couldn't buy a boost. This is almost 500,000 people this week alone that sat there and leveled a character. This is super early on in the first 5 months, and they leveled up. Because they must have enjoyed it, right? To say that leveling is not important or is not a formative or enjoyable part of this game, it's ridiculous. It's out of touch. Leveling is great. Leveling is great. The reason why people don't like World of Warcraft leveling is because at other points in World of Warcraft's timeline, SOD or retail, they've made leveling less fun or too fast or less immersive or less engaging or less impactful. Vanilla WoW leveling does not have those problems. There's a reason why people are eager to come back and re-level over and over and over again. Every time there's a fresh, every time there's a hardcore server that comes out, there's a Divide to Light, this sort of classic pseudo-fresh movement. People like it. Vanilla leveling is good. It's just genuinely good and timeless.
Hitting max level is not a success metric. Being engaged in the game is. And being engaged in a quality way. Like, not just like, oh yeah, you're playing the game, but you're doing dailies, you hate the game. No, but being engaged in a quality way. So, what ends up happening is that Season of Discovery has focused on the end game. And in the process of that, they have removed the texture of Classic WoW. They've removed the interdependencies. They've removed the focus on leveling. And I think that's hurt the game a lot. That's why lowering max level is interesting and smart, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's interesting in a lot of ways. It's a good point for me, but it's also personal.
So I can tell you exactly why. I can tell you, in fact, I don't even have to speculate. Egrand explicitly said this when he was talking about SOD and why there would be lower level caps, 25, 40, 50. He actually explicitly said this at one of his BlizzCon interviews in November of 2023. He said, we remember back here at the Classic team, we remember back to the original Classic WoW beta, where we had a level cap of 30 and then about 2 months later, a level cap of 40. And we saw all of these emergent metas pop up at level 30 and level 40 on the Classic beta in 2019 or 2018 or something. And we wanted to sort of recreate that or replicate that. Okay, you guys might remember, I played a lot of Classic beta. It is true, there were emergent, never before seen metas, both at 30 and at 40 that kind of popped up. The problem is that, as you might remember, if you played the beta or watched a streamer play the beta at that time, the novelty or fun of those level 30 emergent metas or 40 emergent metas, it lasted for like 2 weeks or less, right? And then it was like, okay, this is really boring now. And so this is what I really wish we had at BlizzCon, okay? I'm going to put on a little act here. Hey guys, welcome to BlizzCon 2023. It is November of 2023. I'm Egrand, or I'm Mr. Classic WoW Developer. Listen, we have heard that you guys have been super eager and excited to hear some news about Classic Plus. We've seen the feedback. We know you guys want it. We're going to be upfront with you. While we don't have Classic Plus ready for you today, we're not going to give you a release date. We want you to know it's a project. Classic Plus is a project we have already begun working on, but it's going to take us another 1.5 or 2 years. And so we want you to know, as we continue working through Classic Plus, we're going to open up a huge amount of developer, player-based communication. We're going to make Classic Plus in your image. We want you guys to give your feedback and help guide us as we are making this version of Classic Plus, as you all see it, as we agree as a community. And in the meantime, as we are working publicly on creating Classic Plus, we're going to give you Classic Fresh 2019 no changes on an 18-month cycle to tide you over. Because we know you want vanilla for the next 18 months, starting 1 week from now. 2019 Classic Fresh, no changes, have fun, and as you're playing it, every week we've got updates talking about Classic Plus as we develop it for the next 2 years. Perfect! End scene. Instead, we got Season of Discovery. Instead. But if they had done that at BlizzCon 2023, that would have just been the bee's knees. It would have been flawless. Everyone would have been happy, I'm telling you.
I'll take, because I would never play a game that takes ages to reach max level, because my only goal in an MMO is to reach max level and get the best loot. Yes, but I bet you would if it wasn't seasonal. I think that you would do it if it wasn't seasonal. The reason why they feel like they have to do this is because it's seasonal. I think seasonal MMO is an oxymoron. What that means, these are two things that do not fit together. Seasons and MMOs should not be together. Exact word, yes. There you go. Seasonal equals...
Let me play a little devil's advocate, kind of in a way, but then actually not really. What is an expansion pack? What is a World of Warcraft expansion? It's a 2-year-long season. See, it's a fucking proto season. TBC. It's a season. It's there for 2 years, and then it totally changes 2 years later, right? Wrath. It's a season, and like pretty much in every single way that matters. And now I'm going to give you my very classic WoW fundamentalist hyper-regressive take. I hate expansions. World of Warcraft should have never had expansions. The original version of Vanilla WoW in 2004, 2005, 2006 should have become Classic Plus. There should have never been TBC. There should have never been Classic Wrath. It should have been Classic Plus starting in 2006. And that's what should have happened.
It was endgame content only.
True.
Don't WoW subs decline every year? We have no idea. They don't say. Everything seasonal with Zoomers, blame Fortnite? No, well, then, I mean, there aren't only Zoomers that play video games. There's plenty of people that aren't Zoomers. MMO should have persistence. Yeah, you need to have persistence. Because without persistence, there's no motivation for me. Like, I don't feel any desire to, like, get ready for anything in Season of Discovery, because I know that eventually it will all just be deleted. And it's, like, that's always the case. Like, every game ends eventually, right? But, like, it's like, the direct case. Seasons in WoW started in Wrath, which was 10 years before Fortnite. Oh, you're right. I think that, like, really, well...
I wonder if that concern, because by the way, I think a lot of people share that sentiment. I don't want to invest time into a seasonal server because I know 18 months, 2 years at most, whatever, it's going to be gone. Okay. I think that's a fair sentiment. And that was always a big critique people had of private servers. So I don't want to invest time in a private server because I don't, any day the private server could implode or go under. And okay, yeah, that's a fair concern. I wonder if Blizzard had come out and said, hey guys, we're going to do Classic WoW Discovery. It's not called not Season of Discovery. It's called Classic WoW Discovery. And we're going to keep these servers going. We're going to continue developing Classic Discovery content on this server as long as you guys enjoy it. As long as you keep having fun and playing, we're going to keep making new content. I think that probably would have, sort of put some of those concerns to rest. But then Blizzard wouldn't have had that preemptive copium, backdoor exit in case things die also. Like I said, listen, I think there's a very, very intentional reason why Blizzard is using the terminology, the verbiage, season. We talked about this earlier on in the video, but I think it's very intentional.
Like, hard seasons started in WoW. I'd say in, like, Legion. In, like, Legion and BFA. Yeah, it was somewhere around there. Like, yeah, Mythic Plus, whenever they started scaling everything up. Because you still had to do some of the old raids back in the day, and you had, like, catch-up gear. But now is, Now it's just you don't have to do that at all. Legion, yes, yeah, that's what I would say. A good MMO is still fun if you achieved most things, yeah. So these are the reasons why I think Season of Discovery just really didn't... It really didn't retain players in the same way that Classic WoW would. I think that it'll be interesting to see what the new raids and dungeons they come up with are going to be. But to be honest with you, I think that the WoW developers, they view the points of friction in Classic WoW as points that can be improved upon. But I think the points of friction in Classic WoW give it the texture that makes it a timeless game. The fact that Azergos and Kha'Zix are not instanced. The fact that leveling does take an extremely long time. The fact that if you're a warrior and you're out there leveling by yourself.
I love that he mentions Kha'Zix and Azergos, okay? So this is like one example of the disconnect of, I guess, the classic devs. So coming up in Season of Discovery Phase 4, the classic devs have said, you know, most people never even get to kill Azergos or Kha'Zix. And so as such, we're going to put them into an instance so that more people have access to Kha'Zix and Azergos because most people never even got an opportunity. So they are taking something unique away that is only really found in Vanilla WoW. They're kind of taking that away and changing it so that it's more accommodating to more people. What I would say is leave Kha'Zix and Azergos how they are. They are world bosses. But also, so that more people get to experience the idea of a world boss, we're going to add a couple world bosses to every single leveling bracket. We understand the leveling process, the world immersion is really cool. That's an important aspect of Vanilla WoW. We're going to have world bosses spawning every couple days or every couple hours in STV. There's going to be a Deathless world. There's going to be a level 39 Deathless world boss. And he's going to drop really cool level 39 leveling gear. There's going to be a Westfall world boss that drops level 19 gear. There's going to be, and you're going to have like 10 people come together. 10 level 18 people come together and kill this world. Like, why not double down on it? Why not double down on the really cool, unique thing that people love rather than strip it down and homogenize it and make it lame, right? Just double down on the cool stuff. Just own the cool stuff, the unique stuff that makes Vanilla WoW distinct and unique rather than stripping and homogenizing, right? I don't know.
If you're going to have a bad time, that's what makes the game timeless. And that's why people will be playing Classic WoW in 20 years. There's a lot of things that I think that especially in making an MMO, the psychology of the game in some circumstances matters more than the actual design. And I think that in a lot of cases it matters just as much. How does this compare to Final Fantasy XIV? Do you think WoW could take anything from it? It depends, right? Why would people want progression to be slow? You have to give people what they need and not what they want. People want progression to be fast, but that's not what's good for the game. It's always something that, like, if you gave people a button to press the button to give them 1,000,000 gold, everybody would press the button, but everybody would say it's bad. Don't give people what they want or what they would do. Create an experience that's rewarding, and then players will fit into that experience. That's what I would say. I would argue psychology is the game design. They're completely connected. They are. They're absolutely connected. I don't want to spam. I really wanted to react to this. Man.
A really dark example of psychology being very closely intertwined with game design. There was an article that came out just like 5 or 6 years ago. It said that Activision is actually hiring like gambling psychologists, like fucking like Las Vegas slot machine psychologists, to incorporate some of the triggers, flashing lights, noises, what type of colors keep people engaged, how often should the light bing 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 dee, 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 dee. Like gambling psychologists are genuinely being hired by video game companies for loot boxes and whatever for mobile games. It's true. Like, this is a real phenomenon. It is true. It is true. And that's a dark expression of that.
And I don't want you to spam either. Type it again and you're banned. Let's see here. At this point in my life, I want a game that makes me feel good. Power fantasy. I don't care about hard grinding anymore. See, you don't understand. Like, I get that. I get that. But Classic WoW had that. You had, like, am I the only person that felt like I had a power fantasy whenever I got plate armor at level 40? Or I got the Ravager in Scarlet Monastery? Or I finally unlocked dual wielding. I did. It's not like the only frame of reference of power fantasy is getting Gressel Dawn of Ruin. That's the entire, like... That's the entire problem. Is that people don't think about, like, these small accomplishments along the way. They only think about, like, this one massive goal. And that's why the game doesn't feel like an MMO. Some of these chatters need to watch Overlord. Well, I think that, I mean, this is definitely more of a, you know, a free run type thing, right? But, like, the journey itself and the process and the individual things that you do along that journey, there are power fantasies and experiences in that that are good. And focusing on trying to corral everybody to the end game is just going to get people to get to the end game and not care about it. Because they don't know why should they care about it. Did I actually watch the Overlord trailer for that upcoming movie? No, I haven't. I watched all the anime, though. I watched the entire thing.
I'm cooking for a second.
I think the people that are running the game almost get it with classic WoW season.
All right. I'm going to draw 2 different charts. Okay? I'm going to open up 2 different Microsoft Paints right here. Hold up. Can I open up another one? Paint. Microsoft Paint. Okay. The first chart. This is a standard, I think it's called a Gaussian curve. We'll call it a bell curve. All right. Let's draw another one right over here. It's going to be similar, but not exactly the same. Hold up. Hold up. Oh, fuck. Okay. They are inverted. Oh, my God. Okay, but hold up. What does this mean? Hold up. Over here, you have people that say, you know, I should probably label my charts here. This is the IQ chart. Okay? Oh, God damn it. IQ chart. Over here is the fun per hour chart. Oh. Perfect. Perfect. All right, listen. Over here on the right, you have the journey matters. Over here on the left, you have people saying the journey matters. In the middle, the journey doesn't matter. All that matters is endgame. All right? It's those people right there. But, these people, I'm having fun. I'm not having fun. I'm having fun. Do you understand? Chat, this is my theorem of journey appreciation in a ratio to fun per hour. Does this make sense? Everyone say yes. This makes sense. Everyone say yes in the chat right below me. Yes, this is some Terrence Howard shit. Yeah, I'm going to put a patent on this and I'm going to sell it. It's true. This matters. The people that think the journey is irrelevant, they are the ones not having fun. The people, both the dumbasses and the genius savants, they recognize the journey matters. The character progression, it is important. Okay? They are having the most fun. They're living in the moment. They understand, they appreciate every single step of the process is a beautiful component. It's a beautiful component of something bigger than themselves. The other people, I'm speedrunning, I have to be at max game, and I'm bored. Okay? It's true. They have min-maxed the fun out of the game for themselves. They are their own undoing.
A discovery, but I don't think that they get it. I think that they still view points of friction as being bad. And I don't think that they are good or bad, but every single change, like for example, enchanting onto a vellum changes the social aspect versus enchanting from a player and then building up trust with that player. Because, like, you know, if you give somebody your materials to do Crusader, and then they log off, well, then you're fucked, right? So that's why they made the vellums. But everything that you do like that has a large cultural and, like, social cost. And what I'm saying is that in a lot of the pursuit to make the game more legible and more streamlined, they've removed that social value so much. That's bannable, though? No? Yeah, it's usually bannable, but, like, then you're stuck. Like, how long is that going to take? And, like,
Not
you're
all
just
the
still
time.
fucked over. So, yeah. When I switched Frost to a DPS spec, I had to wait at least 10 seconds before I had DPS, or otherwise I'd pull aggro. It's such a good feeling. 100% agree.
Chat. Hamburgers. Hamburgers. Hamburger. Do you care more about the Uber Eats person who delivers the hamburger to your doorstep, and maybe you make eye contact, maybe you don't, you probably don't even know what they look like? Do you care more about the Uber Eats hamburger delivery driver that puts the burger on the doorstep, or Grandma Simpson, who owns the local, it's called Grandma Simpson's Hamburger Shop in downtown. It's called Grandma and Grandpa Simpson's Hamburger Diner, right downtown. You go in there, you say, "Hey there, Grandma Simpson, how you doing today? I'll take a hamburger with, Tillamook cheddar cheese and some bacon." And she says, "I can cook that up right quick for you, sugar. Oh, sweetie, you hungry for a hamburger? I can cook that up for you right now." Oh, Grandma Simpson.
Agree? Yeah.
I care about you. You're a human. I care about
It's a
you.
crowd and learning rare
We have a
enchants. Yeah, absolutely.
connection.
Blizzard doesn't understand that people basically want to reopen Classic WoW. That's it. I don't think people want to just replay Classic WoW. I don't. I think that's done. Like, there's always going to be a subset of people that are like, "Oh my god, fresh, let's do it all over again."
Dude. Yes. Yes.
But that is that's a very small amount of people, right? I think that if you want to make a bigger game, like OSRS is a great example of this. OSRS, and I know Jimmy and I have disagreements on this, was built on the foundation of nostalgia, but expands upon that to create a true experience. Like, OSRS is why people got excited for SOD. So, they want Classic WoW, but they also want Classic WoW in the way that they imagined Classic WoW evolving whenever they were 16 years old.
People want Classic Plus, but it's got to have tasteful changes in the spirit of the original game. This is something the Jagex devs have been able to accomplish with a pretty high degree of accuracy with OSRS, but that the Classic WoW devs have not been able to accomplish with Season of Discovery. That's the difference. Are the changes tasteful and in the spirit, or are they not tasteful? Are they distasteful and lacking in the spirit? Praise his name.
And I think that it's, again, nostalgia and game design and new additions. I think these are hand in hand. The problem is that that's not what's happening. So we'll play Season of Discovery Phase 4, okay? I will 100% play Phase 4. I am most excited about Phase 4. But my excitement is not very high. It's not. It's really not very high. I don't think that the changes the developers have made are. I don't think they know what they're doing.
I agree. I agree with you.
That's really the way I feel. I really don't think they know what they're doing. Mark my words, the future of MMO genre is the survival game aspects. Yes, survival aspects will be the future of MMOs. I agree. Would you support them adding a polling system like OSRS has done? Maybe. Yeah. You know.
So, I'm going to throw some shade here. In order for a dev team to implement a polling system like OSRS has, if you guys are not familiar, anytime a new change is floated by the dev team, it's like 75 or 80% of the player base has to vote yes on the change, and then if they vote yes, then they go ahead and do it, right? It's pretty much how it works. In order to have a polling system like OSRS has, and it's worked out really pretty well, you need developers that are able to put aside their own personal development ego. You can't have ego Andy developers that think that they know best. I know best. I know better than anyone, and we're gonna do what I want. Okay, you can't have ego-driven developers. And yeah, you can't have ego-driven developers. Yeah.
Excited for Phase 5, Kara raid. I know what it's gonna be. Like, I know I'll play it. Of course I'll play it. But, like, I know what it's gonna be, and I think it'll probably be problematic in a lot of ways. So, they promised new zone raids in SOD. So far, nothing new. Well, they're adding that Fellwood dungeon, which is really cool. I think that's awesome.
Ashenville.
Do you think horizontal seasonal model like Helldivers would work well in an MMO? No, I don't think so. I think the problem really is that... So this is one of the things that, like, in Lost Ark, this is why the first month of Lost Ark was so good, is because there was so much content to go through, and the only thing that was holding you back from it was, well, money, but also time.
I played Lost Ark when it came out for probably 3 hours, and I just saw a bunch of goddamn anime characters ayayaing. So it's just nonstop anime characters talking to each other. In fact, there was almost no gameplay, and it was probably like 95% game ayayay anime dialogue and 5% gameplay. And I said, yeah, I don't want to play this. If this is my experience in the first 3 hours of the game, I'm not going to give this any more of my time. My time is valuable, okay? Every second I'm playing Ayaya Extreme Adventure 9000, I'm not playing World of Warcraft Vanilla WoW. So this is a waste of my time.
Like, you know, there was content. They brought this game out, and they said, this game's out. There's a boss that requires item level 300 or 400, 1400, right? And right now, you are item level 70. Well, go get them. That is amazing. That's what, and the problem, 1370. I think that there are some bosses at 1400, right? Some of the world bosses. 1370 was only for some of them, right? But Argos was 1370. The first was it? It doesn't matter, right? My point is that obviously there are these bosses that are really high level, like, for example, the Poseidon raid. You don't even do that raid. Whenever Lost Ark came out, you don't even do that raid for like 50 hours. 70, 100 hours maybe. But whenever you get there, holy shit. It's fucking amazing. It was so fucking good. Yeah, exactly. And like Final Fantasy did that as well. It's like you don't even get to the, the Coils of Bahamut or something like that until like way later in the game. So...
Wow.
I think the problem is, like, the developers for Season of Discovery view... It's almost like they view player behavior, or, like, they don't really have, like, a very good way of viewing player behavior.
I think the Classic developers don't understand why people like Classic. That's what I think. They have correctly observed that people do like Classic, but I think, generally speaking, they don't know why people like Classic. That's my observation.
Wasn't Coils early? Well, it is now in the context of the game, but it wasn't then. Brett back. Can I use the bathroom? Just endgame ARR? Yeah, but when it came out, it was the endgame. Is what I mean.
Back in the day.
Okay, that's the video. All right, that is why Asmongold thinks that SOD is underperforming or is not that popular. I think, some things he's right about, some things he's not. I don't agree with everything. But we just got done talking about that.